treatment of choice. Once the patient, if he or she is less than 40 years and there is a confirmed mineralocorticoid excess, right? There is a confirmed mineralocorticoid excess and there is unilateral lesion on the CT scan, right? And even there is lateralization which is being confirmed, right? Even there is lateralization which is being confirmed by the adrenal venous sampling, then he is a surgical candidate for doing surgical adenectomy, okay, or surgical resection. So you will be able to do surgical resection only if the tumor is unilateral. If it is a bilateral tumor, we don't do a surgical resection. Why? I will tell you. So in which candidate you can do surgical resection comfortably? Age less than 40 years, confirmed mineralocorticoid excess, unilateral lesion on the CT scan, right? Unilateral lesion on the CT scan, and lateralization is confirmed by adrenal venous sampling, then he is an ideal candidate for doing surgical resection. And what is the surgery that you do? That is laparoscopic adrenalectomy is what the surgery that the patient has to undergo. That is a preferred approach. Now, those individuals who are not surgical candidates, those individuals with bilateral adrenal hyperplasia, we don't do surgery. Okay, so bilateral adrenal hyperplasia is confirmed by CT scan. Bilateral adrenal hyperplasia is confirmed by adrenal venous sampling. These patients, medical management should be done. Why? Because when you do a bilateral adrenal resection, there is a cortisol deficiency which can occur, and once the individual may land up in the Addison's. So that is the reason why bilateral cortisol resection, bilateral adrenal gland resection should not be done. If there is bilateral adrenal hyperplasia, the preferable treatment is the medical management. So if you take the medical management, this medical management should be given in patients with bilateral pathology. Not only bilateral pathology, even in case of unilateral pathologies prior to surgery, mainly to avoid post-surgical hypoaldosteronism, you need to give mineralocorticoid receptor antagonist, that is spironolactone, should be given. So spironolactone should be given in patients with bilateral pathology and even in patients with unilateral pathology before going ahead with surgery, mainly to avoid post-surgical hypoaldosteronism. And how much of the spironolactone you need to give? See, spironolactone, it has to be started at a dosage of 12.5 milligrams twice daily. And it has to be increased up to 50 milligrams twice daily. Okay. And what is a maximum dose? Maximum dose will be 400 milligrams per day. That is a maximum dose, right? Maximum dose you are giving mainly to control the blood pressure of the individual, mainly to control or normalize the potassium level within the individual. So that is about the spironolactone. But the problem with the spironolactone, it has some side effects like gynecomastia. That is, tender gynecomastia will be there with spironolactone, and there will be also decreased libido, and there will be also menstrual irregularities in these individuals who are taking this spironolactone. Mainly to avoid this adverse effects of spironolactone, we have a selective, right? We have a selective mineralocorticoid receptor antagonist. Now, what is that selective mineralocorticoid receptor antagonist? That will be eplerenone. Okay, eplerenone, it is a more selective mineralocorticoid receptor antagonist. So the dose that you have to start is 25 milligrams twice daily you need to start, and maximum dose that you can increase for eplerenone is 200 milligrams per day is the maximum dose of the eplerenone. Okay, the other alternative to your spironolactone and eplerenone is the amiloride. So amiloride, it is epithelial sodium channel blocker. Usually this amiloride, it is the drug of choice for Liddle syndrome, but for primary hyperaldosteronism, it is an alternative drug, and the dosage of the amiloride is 5 to 10 milligrams twice daily is what you need to give related to amiloride. So that is about the treatment for primary hyperaldosteronism.